In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 29, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Sacramento Kings vs. Memphis Grizzlies. The upcoming matchup between the Sacramento Kings and the Memphis Grizzlies is set to take place at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. The Kings, currently boasting a season record of 26 wins and 18 losses, find themselves positioned at 5th place in the competitive Western Conference. On the other hand, the Memphis Grizzlies are currently placed 13th in the Western Conference standings, holding a record of 18 wins and 23 losses. Notably, the last encounter between these two teams occurred on New Year's Eve, concluding with the Sacramento Kings emerging victorious with a commanding final score of 123-92. As the Sacramento Kings embark on their journey to Memphis, they are riding the momentum of a 3-game winning streak. Their recent triumph includes a remarkable 120-115 road victory against the Mavericks, where De'Aaron Fox showcased his prowess by leading the team with 34 points and 5 assists. The Kings collectively shot at an impressive 53% from the field and displayed sharpshooting abilities from beyond the arc, connecting on 11 of 33-point attempts. The team's cohesive performance allowed them to amass 34 points in the second quarter, establishing a substantial 23-point lead before fending off a late charge from the Mavericks in the closing moments of the game. Contrastingly, the Memphis Grizzlies have encountered a mixed bag of results in their recent outings, winning 4 of their last 7 games overall. However, their momentum was momentarily halted in a 116-110 road loss against the Pacers. Despite Jaren Jackson Jr. leading the team with 25 points, the Grizzlies faced challenges in the third quarter, conceding 41 points and falling behind by 12 points. Looking ahead, the Grizzlies aim to rebound in this matchup against the Sacramento Kings, knowing that their recent 3-game win streak was disrupted by the Pacers. In the team's recent head-to-head history, the Kings have emerged victorious in 3 out of their last 5 encounters. The 2 most recent meetings saw Sacramento securing wins while covering in -8 spread. With the Kings eyeing a continuation of their win streak, some believe that the Grizzlies, who have been plagued by injuries, might struggle against a formidable Sacramento offense. Notably, the Grizzlies' recent victories have come against teams with lower-ranked offenses, raising questions about their ability to compete against more potent offensive units. Analyzing the performance of both teams in their respective home and away records, a stark contrast emerges. The Memphis Grizzlies have struggled at home, holding a 5-15 straight-up record and a 6-14-0 against the spread record at the FedEx Forum. Conversely, the Kings have demonstrated strength when playing as the visiting team, boasting a 14-7-1 against the spread record. Taking into account the Grizzlies' overall offensive struggles, where they average the fewest points per game, the Kings appear to have a favorable position in this matchup. Memphis has faced challenges in scoring, failing to surpass the 110-point mark in their last 6 games. In contrast, the Sacramento Kings have been prolific on the offensive end, averaging 126 points per game in their last 6 outings. The Kings' reliance on a 3-point-heavy approach adds another layer to their offensive strategy, potentially neutralizing the impact of Jaren Jackson Jr. on the defensive end. The Sacramento Kings, enjoying a nearly complete state of health, have displayed a resurgence in their performance, evident in their previous 123-92 victory over the Grizzlies on December 31st. While the Grizzlies have admirably continued winning games despite a growing injury list, their challenge intensifies as they play this game on 0 days of rest, testing the depth of their roster. Consequently, the Sacramento Kings to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Examining the pace of play, the Memphis Grizzlies tend to adopt a slow tempo, which further exacerbates their offensive struggles. Their home games, where they typically dictate the pace, result in a scoring average of 105 points at the FedEx Forum. This trend sets the stage for another challenging night for the Grizzlies, especially considering their previous matchup against the Kings, where they managed to score only 92 points at home. While the Kings boast a potent offense, the Grizzlies' defense, surrendering fewer than 112 points per game, game at home may impose some constraints on the Kings' scoring output. Complicating matters for the Memphis Grizzlies is their extensive list of injuries, impacting their offensive capabilities. A comparative analysis of both teams' offensive and defensive averages in their last 3 games, over the season, and in home-away games yields a projected score of 226. Traditionally factoring in the average pace of play, the projected total is influenced by Memphis star players being sidelined, with their recent average pace dropping to 98.4 possessions. Consequently, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Oklahoma City Thunder. On the upcoming Monday night, the Minnesota Timberwolves are set to embark on a road trip to the Paycom Center for a face-off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Having suffered a defeat at the hands of the San Antonio Spurs just 2 days prior, the Timberwolves find themselves in a situation where they need to regroup. The Thunder, on the other hand, will be playing their second game in as many days, having competed on Sunday afternoon. The recent performance of the Minnesota Timberwolves has been commendable, with victories in 6 of their last 9 games. However, their optimism took a hit following a disappointing 113-112 road loss to the San Antonio Spurs. Despite a stellar individual effort from Anthony Edwards, who contributed 32 points and 12 assists, the team faltered in the final moments. The Timberwolves, boasting a 57% shooting accuracy, initially dominated with a 15-point lead after the first quarter. Nevertheless, their failure to seal the deal allowed the Spurs to mount a comeback, ultimately losing the game on a clutch free throw from Keldon Johnson with a mere 9 seconds remaining. Conversely, the Oklahoma City Thunder have been in formidable form, winning 9 of their last 12 games overall. Their momentum, however, faced a setback with a 120-104 road loss to the struggling Pistons, marking the end of a 5-game win streak. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the Thunder with 31 points, but their defensive lapses, particularly allowing 46 points in the second quarter, proved costly. Chet Holmgren and Luguentz Dort had subdued performances. Despite this setback, the Thunder remain a strong team, preparing to face the Nuggets after their clash with the Timberwolves. In terms of player availability, the Timberwolves might be without Mike Conley, listed as questionable, while the Thunder have ruled out Trey Mann for the upcoming game. Notably, the Thunder's defense has had the Timberwolves' number in their previous encounters this season, limiting Minnesota to an average of 103 points per game. Although the Timberwolves boast the NBA's top defense, the Thunder's consistent offensive performance suggests a challenging matchup for Minnesota. The Thunder, with a 17-5 record this season, are expected to dominate the turnover battle and capitalize on their superior shot-making abilities. Despite the Minnesota Timberwolves having won 7 of the last 10 meetings against the Thunder, their recent road struggles cannot be ignored, with 10 of their 14 losses this season occurring away from home. The Thunder's recent victory over the Timberwolves as underdogs and their impressive 30-16 against the spread record further strengthen their position as favorites. Both teams are coming off disappointing losses, with the Timberwolves squandering a 15-point lead to the Spurs and the Thunder getting routed by the Pistons. However, the Thunder's 7-game home winning streak gives them an edge in this matchup. In anticipation of a 3rd consecutive victory for the Thunder over the Timberwolves, the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. Looking at the Thunder's schedule, they played in Detroit on Sunday afternoon and will be on the second leg of a back-to-back for the upcoming game. The 2 p.m. timing on Sunday provides them with sufficient rest before facing the Timberwolves. Expecting the regulars to be in action, the Thunder aim to showcase their prowess against one of the top teams in the Western Conference. On the flip side, the Timberwolves, fueled by the disappointment of their recent loss to the Spurs, are expected to bring a higher level of energy to the game. Over their last 10 matchups, the Thunder have struggled with a 44% shooting accuracy against the Wolves, and Minnesota's control over the tempo and ranking 24th in pace could play a crucial role. As a clash between 2 top 5 defenses unfolds, the offensive capabilities of one team appear subpar. The Timberwolves have struggled to breach the 100-point mark in all 3 matchups against the Thunder this season, while the Thunder managed to exceed 105 points only once. Anticipate a low-scoring affair on Monday, especially considering the heightened stakes and increased intensity. Both franchises have seen the under hitting frequently in their past 5 games, with a 1-4-0 record for both Minnesota and Oklahoma City. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Wizards versus San Antonio Spurs. In the realm of professional basketball, a clash of teams in the midst of rebuilding unfolds on the hardwood as the Washington Wizards set out on a journey to face off against the San Antonio Spurs in the Lone Star State. Scheduled for Monday night, this interconference battle showcases two squads navigating the challenges of reconstruction. The Wizards, fresh from a victorious encounter against Detroit with a scoreline of 118-104 on the road, emerged triumphant as a 3.5-point underdog in their preceding contest held on a Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, the Spurs managed to topple Minnesota with a narrow victory of 113-112 at home, defying odds as a 10.5-point underdog in their recent matchup. The historical regular season series between these two teams has been dominated by the Spurs, boasting a commanding 66-36 advantage. Their first meeting this season on January 20th resulted in a 131-127 road victory for the Spurs. Having clashed just over a week ago, the Spurs secured a 131-127 win on the road as +2 underdogs, showcasing a potential strengthening trend as the season progresses. While still youthful and unpolished, the Spurs appear to be finding their rhythm, evident in their impressive 53.1% overall shooting and dominance in scoring and rebounding against the Wizards in their recent encounter. As the upcoming game approaches, the Spurs carry the momentum, having won their previous 2 games, including a road triumph against the Wizards. In contrast, the Wizards secured a win against the struggling Detroit Pistons, the only team beneath them in the Eastern Conference standings. However, the Wizards' offense struggles to match up against opponents, often faltering towards the end of games. Conversely, the Spurs, characterized by their youth and energy, exhibit resilience until the final buzzer. With a 3-0 record against the spread as home favorites this season, the Spurs seem poised for a challenging yet promising matchup. Despite a season marked by disappointment, the Wizards found respite in breaking a 6-game losing streak with a victory against the Pistons. In contrast, the Spurs displayed resurgence with 3 wins in their last 5 outings, including an upset against the Timberwolves as double-digit underdogs. The skepticism surrounding the Wizards is evident in the reluctance to favor them, and while reservations exist about laying more than a bucket with the Spurs, recent wins and their earlier triumph against the Wizards make them a compelling choice. In a scenario where confidence in either team is elusive, the Spurs emerge as the more informed team. A pair of recent wins and a previous road victory against the Wizards contribute to their growing confidence. The Wizards, on the other hand, remain unpredictable, selectively giving honest efforts. While a preference for the Spurs is acknowledged, considering the options on a competitive Monday card is advised. Amidst the uncertainty surrounding both teams, the Spurs stand out as the squad in better recent form, suggesting a continuation of their positive trajectory. Therefore, the San Antonio Spurs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Entering this matchup, the Washington Wizards have leaned towards staying under the total in 23 of their 45 games this season. Noteworthy is their ranking as the 15th team in the league for turnovers, committing an average of 13.6 per game. In terms of pace, the Wizards lead the league with an energetic style, averaging 103.1 possessions per game. Conversely, the San Antonio Spurs have favored going over the total in 26 of their 46 games this season, standing 26th in the league for turnovers with an average of 14.7 per game. Demonstrating a fast-paced approach, the Spurs rank 4th in the league with 101.7 possessions per game. In their previous meeting earlier this month, the two teams combined for a total of 258 points, surpassing the set total of 242.5. The same total has been assigned to this upcoming game, reflecting the combined 48 game over hit for both teams this season. Notably, this matchup features two teams positioned in the top 10 for pace, with the Spurs ranked 4th and the Wizards ranked 2nd according to dunksandthrees.com. Despite the Wizards' struggles since the beginning of the year, they have managed to score at least 117 points in 5 of their last 10 games. The Spurs, on the other hand, have surpassed the 113-point mark in 6 consecutive games, achieving 120 or more in 3 of those. Considering their offensive prowess, the over has hit in 7 out of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Given the penchant of both teams for a fast-paced, offensive style and a relative lack of emphasis on defense, the outlook for this game leans towards surpassing the total. Consequently, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.